Namaste, everyone. Welcome to this full moon Vinyasa flow practice. Grab a couple of blocks and a strap, and I invite you to sit in hero's pose if that works for you, which is Virasana. You could either sit directly on your calves as you place your knees in front of you, or on a block or two stacked right in between your ankles. And to help safely align your knees, make sure that you're neither turning out or turning in your feet. Tops of the feet are flat on the ground. Take a moment to mentally situate yourself in your physical yoga practice. So on this full moon of Leo, I'll share just a little bit from Magic of I, which is a co-op of different astrologers, just sharing the themes. Generally, for those of us that have full moon rituals, you may be aware that full moons can be an opportune time to reflect on anything that you want to bring closure to in any aspect of your life, as well as celebrate, offer gratitude for in the completion or the full illumination of the moon. The moon's always full, right? It's just our perception of it versus based on how the sun is illuminating it. And then another aspect of full moons is also to observe what's coming up for you. Some of us who are very energetically sensitive can maybe sense certain emotions that are underneath the surface of other emotions. For example, how underneath anger can be fear or sadness, and really just holding compassionate space for yourself. To dive a little deeper into this specific Leo full moon, the themes highlighted are vision, hope, and progress. And one mantra that you might find useful is, I accept myself for who I am in this very moment. I am illuminated with a fire within, which symbolizes transformation. And it actually reminds me of this quote by Carl Jung, by Carl Rogers. The curious paradox is that when I accept myself as I am, then I can change. So just a little bit more on this specific full moon, written by astrologer Colin Bedell. Ready, set, roar. The first full moon of 2024 arrives in Leo, helping us begin the new year with the confident acceptance that we are fundamentally worthy right now, exactly as we are, of love, joy, belonging. Leo's radiant energy encourages us to take a stand, declaring, I am a work in progress and I am worthy. Amidst a world that often questions our worth, with a compelling opposition to Pluto, newly in Aquarius, the full moon in Leo challenges us to overcome the fear of shining too brightly. When we integrate Leo and Aquarius, we realize that standing in our own light gives others the same permission to shine theirs. Adding Jupiter's square to the full moon and a Mercury-Mars conjunction to the mix, we are given the courage to live our values resiliently and proudly pursue our dreams. So, with that in mind, let's take a moment to check in with ourselves as we begin our yoga practice. Finding a relative stillness in the body, maybe close the eyes. Feel the points of contact between your body and the surface below it. And from there, I invite you to mentally scan body part by body part, observing any sensations. No need to judge any of them as good or bad. Eventually scanning all throughout your body to simply be aware of what's present here now. Feel the natural breath in without changing how you're breathing. Sense the breath out. As you continue to observe the breath, what do you notice about it? What do you notice about your energy? Bring your attention to your state of mind. Do you feel present in your body? Are your thoughts scattered, taking you in different directions? Simply just be aware of this. What is your state of heart? Are there any emotions that are wanting acknowledgement? You might even gently touch a hand to your heart center with compassionate awareness. Now let the breath slow down. Feel the inhale in your belly, in your chest, opening the lips, let it all go. Inhaling a little bit fuller, letting the back ribs expand, collarbones broaden, and maybe sigh it out. As you continue to deepen your breath, what comes to mind as something you appreciate? Any way that you feel blessed or a sense of well-being? And as you start to clarify your intention, your sankalpa on this new moon practice, is there anything that you are setting an intention to release, to bring closure to, let go of in any aspect of your life, whether in your physical body or relationships or mental attitude, self-talk? By letting go of that, what are you allowing? What are you creating space for? Letting that spark your intention. As we remember that we are all connected, interbeing, I invite you to choose someone or something to offer up this practice to today. And with that in our hearts and minds, let's join our voices to create resonance, chanting Om 3 times. Let's start to invite balance through the breath, inhaling as slowly as you exhale, and then practicing Ujjayi Pranayama to also cultivate calm and focus. Softly narrow the back of your throat and closing the lips, create a gentle whispering sound to the breath, setting a rhythm that you can listen to that will move our bodies to. And take your time, keeping the breath slow and mindful as you start to make your way to a standing forward fold, our first practice of hips in flexion, which is our physical theme today. So as you arrive at the top of your mat, find an easeful way to bow forward from the hips. Set your feet apart at least hips distance, parallel to each other, and bend your knees generously so your spine can most easily unwind. You can decide to just let your arms hang freely, maybe sway the spine to loosen it up. You could hold opposite elbows, shake out the head to relax the neck. Or you could also clasp the hands behind your lower back, stretching the arms forward and lifting the shoulders away from the ears. Tune into the quality of your breathing here. And then let your arms fall, bend the knees a little more, tilt your weight forward. Just let the head hang freely. And on a slow in-breath, roll your spine upright as if you're stacking one vertebra at a time. Lifting your head last and then circling your shoulders behind you. Exhale the shoulders down. Let's join the palms in prayer at your heart, reconnecting to your intention for this practice. Offering gratitude to the sun and the moon. Let's begin our sun salutations. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead and gently coil your chest up. As you exhale, bend the knees if needed, bow from your hips. Plant your fingertips outside your heels. Inhale, step your left knee behind you to a kneeling lunge, gaze up. Hold your breath as you step to plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, then your chest, then your chin. Inhale, slide forward, entering cobra. Draw your shoulders back. Exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot beside your left thumb. Lower your right knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Press through your feet. Inhale, rise slowly to the breath. Offering gratitude to both sun and full moon. Exhale, join your palms in prayer at the heart. Side 2 of Surya Namaskar C. Inhale, sweep your arms up, gaze up. Exhale, bow towards the earth. Lower your fingertips. Inhale, step your right knee back, kneeling lunge, look up. Hold your breath as you step to plank. Exhale to Ashtangasana, lower knees, then chest, then chin. Inhale to Cobra or Bhujangasana. Draw your shoulders back. Exhale to Downward Dog or Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb. Lower your left knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Rooting down, inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, connect to your heart center. Let's move on to sun salutation A. Inhale, sweep your arms up, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Press your hands either on your shins, blocks, or the floor. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, half forward fold. Step back into your version of plank, and let's pause there for a few breaths. As you stack your shoulders on top of your wrists, choose to either place your knees on the ground, right under the hips for more support, or straightening the legs, actively press your inner heels back. Lift the sides of your belly, gaze on the ground just ahead of your thumbs as you draw the shoulder blades down the back. One more breath in. Now, as you exhale, glide forward as far as you can and just lower halfway down, grazing your elbows by your ribs. Pause in Chaturanga Dandasana. Then either lower to the floor for Cobra or flip the toes here and draw the shoulders back to upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Let's stay here a little longer on this hold. Feel free to move your body any way that you might need to loosen up. Breathing in as slowly as you breathe out. Then bend your knees, look past the fingertips and empty this breath. Walk or float to the front of your mat. Press your hands into blocks of the floor. Inhale, lengthen forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands in prayer and mountain pose. Now let's flow through the same sequence. Moving to the breath. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Press with the hands. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step into plank pose, and you decide how you want to lower knees, chest, shin, or glide forward and graze your elbows by your ribs. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. This time I invite you to cultivate stillness in the body as you steady your gaze for 2 more full breaths. When you've emptied the second exhale, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to the heart, Padasana. Let's move into Sun Salutation B. Bring your feet together so you can feel the inner edges of your big toes touch. And then empty this breath. Inhale, bend your knees together to touch. Sit back towards your heels in chair pose, raising your arms, relax the shoulders down. As you exhale, shift forward and hinge from your hips. Press with the hands, inhale, lengthen to Ardha Uttanasana. Step back to plank, or if you're jumping, land softly in Chaturanga Dandasana. Keep going through your version of your Vinyasa. When you arrive in downward facing dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, softly step the foot beside your right thumb and spin your left heel down. Inhale, rise to stand in Warrior One. As you exhale, lower all the way down to your Vinyasa. So taking care of yourself, listen to your body and what it needs. Remembering you can slow things down or add intensity, doing it with love. From downward dog, pause, couple deep breaths. Moving to the second side, inhale, raise the left leg back. Exhale, the foot beside left thumb, spin the right heel down. Inhale, rise, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower into your Vinyasa. Then cultivating stillness, steady your gaze, a way to help steady your mental focus. Tune into a few more deep breaths, slowing down and rebalancing your energy through the breath. When you're ready, empty the breath, then walk or jump lightly to the front of your mat, forward fold. With feet touching, inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees together. Inhale, chair pose or Utkatasana. Exhale, rise, Padasana. Last one, Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Step back or float back. Insert your Vinyasa here. When you arrive in downward dog, follow your pace of breath. Inhale, raise your right leg back. Exhale, the foot beside your right thumb, spin the left heel down. Inhale, rise to Warrior One. Exhale, lower into your Vinyasa. Downward dog. Inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale, your foot beside your left thumb, spin the right heel down. Inhale, rise, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower, Vinyasa. Arriving in downward dog, pause to recalibrate. Come back to the feeling tone of your intention for this practice. Smoothing out the breath, inviting balance of in and out. And when you're ready, empty the breath, then walk or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, lengthen to half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees to chair pose. Exhale, rise up, mountain pose. Let's step the feet apart, hips distance again, parallel to each other. This time, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, roll your shoulders back, look up. Feel free to bend your knees if that allows you to fold as you exhale with the feeling of a flat back. So you're not rounding the shoulders nor the back. Then lifting your toes, slip your palms face up underneath the soles of your feet in Padahastasana, stretching the outer wrists by inviting your toes to meet the inner creases of your wrists. Shifting your weight as far forward as you can balance. Inhale, lift the chest and press your heart through the gates of your arms. Keep leaning forward and exhale, bow and drop your head. Few deep breaths here. Maybe shaking and nodding the head or helping to relax the jaw by fluttering the lips a few times. And if it's available, you can bend the elbows apart here and lift the shoulder bones while further dropping your skull. Tune into your energy right now. How are you feeling at this point of your practice? As you honor that, what makes most sense right now? Take another vinyasa, or come to hands and knees and take some cat-cows, or step right into downward facing dog. Take your choice. When you do arrive in downward dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Now, as you exhale, cross that knee towards your left outer upper arm and stack your shoulders right above your wrists. Inhale, raise the right leg back. This time, exhale and touch right knee outside the right shoulder or upper arm. Stack the shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, raise the right leg back. And this time, bend the knee towards your nose, round your back. Softly land the foot beside your right thumb. Stay high on the ball of your left foot. And for one inhale, rise up to crescent lunge. Then spin the left heel down, turn to your left, and exhale, open the arms in warrior two. Let's pause here, tuning into the breath. As you bend your right knee just over your right heel, firm the outer edge of your left foot into the earth. As you wrap your right outer hip beneath you, firm the top of your left thigh bone back. And then let your shoulders relax right above your hips, lifting up through the back of the skull as you steady your gaze just beyond your right hand. Virabhadrasana 2. From here, straighten your right leg, shorten your stance, maybe a couple inches for triangle pose. Glide your hips sideways towards your back wall and lengthen your torso towards your front wall. Lower your right hand on your right shin or just to the right of it, maybe on a block. And now as you raise the left arm, rotate the outer upper arm to face your left wall. Then extend that arm overhead for extended triangle pose. Utthita Trikonasana. Draw both of your shoulder blades down your back ribs. Tack the crease of your right hip back towards your left heel. And spiral your chest slightly to face the sky, landing your gaze on one point for a few more breaths. Bending your right knee, inhale through warrior two, flip the right palm to face up, side bend towards your rear wall in peaceful warrior. Exhale your hands to the floor. Let's save time and go directly to downward facing dog. Pause, breathing in. Exhale completely. Inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale, cross the knee towards your right outer upper arm, stacking your shoulders right above your wrists. Inhale, raise the left leg back. Exhale, tap the knee outside your left shoulder in plank. Inhale, raise the left leg back. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose and round forward. Softly step the foot beside your left thumb. Stay on the ball of your right foot. Inhale, rise up to crescent lunge. Then spin the right heel down and exhale to warrior two. Aligning your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot. Now bending your left knee right above the ankle. Firm the outer edge of your right foot into the ground. Rotating your left outer hip beneath you. Firm the top of your right thigh bone back. And then center your shoulders, relaxing them right above your hips, steadying your gaze just past your left fingertips. Virabhadrasana 2. Let's straighten the left leg here and shorten your stance a couple of inches for triangle pose. Glide your hips sideways towards your rear wall and lengthen your torso towards your front wall. Lower your left fingertips on your left shin or just to the left of it on a block or the floor. Now, as you raise your right arm, spin the tricep to face your right wall and lengthen that arm overhead. Extended triangle pose. Draw the left hip crease back to lengthen the left side of your torso as you're spinning your chest slightly to face up. Steady gaze. Utthita Trikonasana. Press down to your feet. Inhale through warrior two, keeping the left knee bent. Flip the left palm to face up to peaceful warrior, side bending towards your rear wall. From here, exhale, step up to the top of your mat and come right into chair pose. Let your feet touch, bend your knees together to touch, and join your hands in prayer. Let's explore a twist in chair. As you breathe in, draw your hips back, lengthen your spine forward. Now keep your pelvis and legs still, and as you breathe out, start to twist to your right, turning your rib cage. Inhale, tack the left hip back, lengthen the crown forward. And then exhale, maybe continue to twist. You might hook the left elbow outside your right thigh. Parita Utkatasana. Last breath here. If you can, sit a little lower as you inhale the arms up in chair pose. Exhale, rise up to mountain pose. Inhale back to chair pose. Join your hands and exhale, begin to twist to your left side. Inhale, tack the right hip back, lengthen the crown of your head forward. Maybe hook right elbow outside left thigh. Exhale, spiral the rib cage, but keep the hips still. If you can, sit a little lower. Inhale back to chair pose. Exhale, this time forward fold. Inhale, lengthen forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Choose to take a Vinyasa, cat-cow, or step directly to downward facing dog. Now in downward facing dog, inhale, raise your right leg back. Exhale, cross the knee to left tricep again, twisting at your waist. Inhale, raise your right leg back. Exhale, hug the knee as high as you can outside your right shoulder and pause. You might bend the elbows like chaturanga and start to lean way forward. So the right thigh rests on the right upper arm and you lift the left leg. Ekapada Kuninyasana, arm balance. Step your right foot to the right side of your right hand. Lizard lunge. Now you could place your hands on two blocks or hands on the floor, both inside of your right leg. See if it's possible without strain to stay lifted onto your left toes rather than lowering the left knee in this version. Otherwise, go ahead and lower the left knee. And then invite your right knee to hug gently towards your right shoulder. You might come down into your forearms as you're drawing your chest forward. Let's tune into 4 more full breaths here. Start to walk your right foot front and center between your hands. Spin your left heel down and arrange your legs like you did in Warrior Two. But this time, grab a strap as you rise up to stand. So wrapping the right sitting bone under, firming the top of the left thigh bone back, let's prepare for bound side angle pose. So take your strap in your left hand, dangle the tail of that strap around your back until it's hanging outside of your right thigh. Keep your right knee bent. Glide your right hip crease back towards the left heel, just like you were preparing for triangle pose, and lengthen the crown of your head towards the front wall. How's your breathing? Reach your right arm on the inner side of your right thigh and catch the bottom end of the strap. Keep your arms relatively straight as you continue to lengthen your torso towards the front wall, and walk the hands as close together as you can on the strap, turning your chest slightly to face the sky. Steady breath. You might be able to clasp your hands or hold on to your left wrist. Now make sure that you're opening up the front of your left shoulder, as that's one of the purposes of binding the arms like this. You don't want to feel like you're bowing towards the left wall. Keep rolling the right hip underneath you. Steady gaze. Baddha Parshvakonasana. Now from here, start to straighten your right leg. You might loosen the slack on the strap if you're using it. Tack the right hip crease back, entering bound triangle pose. Baddha Trikonasana. Then choose your own balance adventure. Either lower the right hand upper right corner of the right foot, entering half moon pose, or keep the bind and prepare to enter bird of paradise by rebending the right knee and then stepping the left foot to meet the right foot at the top of the mat. As you arrive at the top of the mat, if you're moving towards bird of paradise, shift your weight onto your left foot. Steady breath. Start to rise up, flexing the right foot off the ground. Then if your spine is completely vertical there, you might consider straightening the right leg. Whatever way you're practicing balance play, what is the energy and mental attitude you're entering the physical pose with? Remember your intention. What are you letting go of? Take your time. If you're in bird of paradise, see if you can keep the bind and reverse the steps to come back to bound side angle pose. If you're in half moon pose, reverse the steps into Warrior Two. As your legs arrive in Warrior Two, let's meet in Peaceful Warrior. Side bending towards your rear wall as you raise the right arm overhead, breathing deeply into your right side body. Exhale to downward facing dog. Pause for a full breath in. Maybe sigh it out. Open the mouth wide. Lion's breath. Let it go. Close the lips again. Ujjayi breathing. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, cross the knee towards right outer upper arm. Twist. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, hug the knee as high as you can outside left shoulder, and pause here, breathe. You might start to lean forward and bend the elbows back, coming into Ekapada Kundinasana, arm balance. Eventually step left foot on the left side of your left hand. Option to place both hands on blocks Having your hands on the inner side of your left foot, see if it's possible to keep your right knee lifted. Hug your left knee towards your left shoulder as you draw your sternum, middle of your chest, forward. Maybe come down to your forearms. About 4 more deep breaths in lizard lunge. Now start to step your left foot front and center on your mat. Spin your right heel down. Legs in warrior two. Take your strap with you as you rise up. So let's take the strap in the right hand and dangle the long tail of the strap around your back, hanging the tail on the left side of your left thigh. Keep the left knee bent and glide your pelvis sideways towards your rear wall as you lengthen your torso towards your front wall. Bring your left arm on the inner side of your left thigh to find the bottom end of the strap. Keep leaning back as you walk the hands closer and closer together, possibly clasping your fingers or holding your right wrist. Keep rotating the left glute beneath you and spinning your chest open towards the sky. Steadying your gaze, let's tune into a few more breaths in bound side angle pose. Baddha Parshvakonasana. Keep the bind to whatever degree. You can loosen the strap if you need, and straighten the left leg by tacking the left hip crease further back while you draw the crown of your head further forward. Baddha Trikonasana, bound triangle pose. From here, what adventure did you choose to play balance in on the first side? I invite you to take the same route, though the variation might differ. So either half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana, or bird of paradise, stepping right foot to meet left foot. And if you're moving into bird of paradise, take your time, rising up to stand on the right foot, flexing the left, and maybe eventually straightening left leg too. Feel into the quality of your breathing as you're exploring. We talked about not being afraid to shine. How is self-acceptance playing a role in your practice today? Take your time. If you're in bird of paradise, maybe keep the bind as you start to reverse the steps you got into it with. Eventually, from half moon pose, making your way to warrior two, keeping the legs in warrior two, side bend towards your rear wall in peaceful warrior. Breathe deeply into your left side body here. And then come all the way up to stand. Let's step up to the top of your mat and we'll add in one more forward fold series. So here, start with your feet hips distance apart. Keep your two hips evenly facing forward and step your left foot back 2/3 as far as you did in your crescent lunge. Dropping the back heel, leg straight from the front muscles of your thighs without locking your knees. Let's bring the arms behind your back, either fist to fist, hold opposite forearms or elbows, or reverse prayer. Seal in the bottom of your front ribs and stand a little taller as you breathe in. Now keep the spine as if you're trying to create a flat back, and exhale, begin to fold forward from the hips. Pausing as you breathe in, root down through the feet and keep stretching the spine forward. Keep the hips leveled or squared and then continue to fold as you breathe out. Parsvottanasana. Imagine breathing into your right hamstring at the back of your right thigh. What are you releasing? What are you freeing yourself of through today's practice? Imagine that feeling of freedom. Press to your feet, firm in the belly. Inhale to slowly rise. Release your arms, maybe shake out the hands and step your left foot forward. Step your right foot back. With legs straight, hips squared, bring the arms behind you again. Fist to fist. Hold the opposite forearm or elbow on top, or reverse prayer. Seal in the bottom of your front ribs and inhale, look up. Exhale, begin to hinge forward from the hips. Take your time exploring your range. Notice what might feel different on the second side. Pyramid pose. Parshvottanasana. From here, set your hands to the floor. Let's step into plank pose, top of a push-up. Pause in plank, deep breath in, and take a slow descent through Chaturanga Dandasana. Maybe pause there for a breath. And we'll lower eventually all the way down onto our bellies. Lying face down, slide your knees close together. Point your toes back and press the tops of your feet firmly into the ground. Let's prepare for our last few back bends, starting in bound locust pose. Reaching your hands behind your lower back, clasp your hands. See if you can hug the heels of the palms together. Keep the feet pressing down into the mat, and inhale, roll your shoulders back, lifting your chest. There's the pose. So you're in it for your count of 5 or so deep breaths. If your lower back feels okay with it, lift your feet as well, keeping the legs straight, keeping your feet parallel to each other. Try to relax the neck, look slightly down. Draw the shoulder blades down your back. Baddha Shalabhasana, bound locust pose. When you're ready to let it go, let it go. Feel the difference of exerting effort and resting. Second back bend of 3. Slide the knees close together and decide if you want to take the same posture on your own again. Otherwise, let's prepare for Shalabhasana, locust pose. Rest your forehead on the ground. Bring the arms down by your thighs, palms face down on the floor. Keep your feet parallel to each other. And with an inhale, lift everything you can off the ground. You're in it for 5 or so breaths. Another variation of the arms is to open the arms apart like wings and rotate the fronts of your shoulders back to turn the palms to face forward. If your lower back is free of issues, you can also extend the arms overhead so that your upper arms are alongside your ears as you look slightly down. Draw the shoulders back. Reach long through the tailbone towards the heels. When you're done, drop everything and rest. What is your body saying to you right now? Okay, our last back bend. I invite you into bow, Dhanurasana. Otherwise, you can choose one of the first 2 versions of locust. So for bow, again, slide your knees close together, but this time bend both knees and reach back with your hands to hold your feet or ankles. If you're holding your ankles, flex your feet. Press your pubic bone into the ground and kick your feet back while pulling your feet towards you, lifting the knees no wider apart than your hips distance. Draw your shoulder heads back and relax the shoulders down the back, looking slightly down for 5 or more breaths. This is our last back bend. This time when you've let it go, you might give yourself a lower back massage by windshield wiping your shins side to side. Breathe deep into your belly, massaging it against the ground. Exhale long through the mouth. Again, inhale deep into the belly. Side out through the mouth. One more time. Plant your hands alongside your ribs and press up to sit, bringing your legs out in front of you. Let's prepare for a seated spinal twist. Extend the left leg forward and bend the right knee. Step your right foot either in front of your right hip or cross the foot outside of your left knee. You could also bend the left knee. Choose the setup that allows you to sit tall and evenly ground your sitting bones. Then place your right hand behind your pelvis and raise your left arm. Press down with your body to lift up to your crown as you breathe in. Exhale, twist to your right. Lower your left arm to hold your right leg or hook the elbow outside of the thigh. Inhale, root down to rise up. Exhale, keep twisting. A few more breaths. On your next exhalation, unwind your spine and let's bring the right shin either forward or on top of the left shin so that you're either sitting cross-legged or in double pigeon, in which you're stacking your ankles and knees while flexing your feet. Ground your sitting bones and lengthen through the front of your spine. Breathe in. Keep your shoulders relaxed, your throat open, and see if you can fold from the hips without rounding the back. A few breaths. Then press down to your pelvis. Lead with your chest. Inhale to slowly rise. Stretch your legs forward, maybe shake out or roll out your feet. Let's prepare for the twist. Try to set up the same way as you did on the first side. This time bending left knee, step the foot in front of the hip or crossed outside of right knee, maybe bend right knee too. Place the left hand behind your pelvis, raise your right arm and sit tall as you root down, breathing in. Exhale as you twist to your left. Lower your right arm to hold your left leg or hook the elbow outside of the thigh. Exploring your range of motion, breath by breath. On your next breath out, unwind your spine and cross your left shin forward or on top of the right. Either sitting cross-legged or in double pigeon pose, in which you're stacking your ankles and knees while flexing your feet. Root down to your sitting bones and lift your heart. Breathe in. And see if it's available to hinge from the hips, slowly, breath by breath. Press down to your hips again. Lead with your heart. Inhale to rise. Straighten your legs forward and let's prepare for seated forward fold. You might opt to place a strap around the balls of your feet as an extension of your arms, or to eventually clasp the big toes, maybe walking the hands down the legs. Separate your feet hips distance apart, and as you flex your feet, press the insteps forward. Root down firmly through your sitting bones and then lift up through your spine. Breathe in here. Keep the shoulders relaxed and like there's a string pulling your sternum past your big toes. Start to hinge forward from the hips, breath by breath. Inhale, lift up halfway, broaden your chest, peel the shoulders back. And then continue to fold. A few more breaths. Paschimottanasana. Pressing down to your pelvis, lead with your chest, lead with the heart. Inhale to slowly rise. Now, please find a comfortable way to sit for one more pranayama practice to help us more deeply relax into stillness for meditation. You might prop your pelvis up on something or any way that you can feel grounded, open, and alert while relaxed. I'm going to invite you into 3-part breathing, Durga Pranayama, which accentuates letting go, a really long exhalation. So here's what it entails. Imagine that your torso, which is from your pelvic floor to the top of your neck, is a jar divided into 3 cross sections. The first or bottom cross section is from your pelvic floor to your belly button, all the way around. The second or middle cross section encompasses most of your rib cage. The third or top cross section is all throughout your chest, to the top of your neck, upper back, all the way around. So the first inhale is going to fill up the lowest cross section. We'll hold the breath. Then the second inhale is going to fill up the middle cross section and we'll hold the breath. The third inhale is going to fill up all the way to the top. We'll hold the breath in, and then through the nose, we'll exhale really slowly everything out to the bottom. Then we'll hold the breath. So that's 1 cycle. Let's practice 3 cycles together and then 2 cycles of Durga Pranayama on your own. You might rest a hand at the upper part, the chest, and the lower part below the belly button to help feel the breath move. And then maybe close the eyes. Prepare to begin with a deep breath. Exhale through the mouth. Now close the mouth and into the lowest section, inhale 1/3. Pause into the middle torso, inhale 1/3. Pause into the top, inhale the last third. Hold the breath and relax the body. To your nose, slowly exhale. Hold the breath out, sit tall. Second round, inhale lowest part of the torso. Pause, inhale middle. Pause, inhale top. Hold it in, relax, observe. Through your nose, slowly empty your breath. Hold it out, observe. Third cycle. Inhale the first third. Pause, inhale the middle. Pause, inhale the top. Hold. Exhale slowly. Hold it out. Continue 2 more cycles on your own. And take your time when you do finish. Let go of controlling your breath and observe how you feel. Now, breathing naturally, take your time to lower your body into corpse pose, lying down, splaying out your limbs and allowing yourself to take up space. Closing your eyes, Shavasana. I invite you to keep your eyes closed and let your body remain still. Notice how your physical body is feeling now in response to your practice. And like you're waking up someone you love, be gentle with yourself. Start with small movements, beginning to wake up your body from stillness. Ease into a simple stretch and slowly turn over onto your right side, resting your head. Let's pause on the side for a moment, observing your breath and the qualities of your breathing right now. Notice how you feel energetically as a result of your practice. Then take your time lifting your body up. Please find a way to sit for 5 minutes in meditation. Sit in a way that you can again feel grounded, alert, relaxed, and open. You might place the left hand underneath the right hand with palms stacked face up, thumb tips touching at the center of the lap. Gesture that cultivates even mind. Maybe close the eyes. Let's begin. I invite you into relaxing with each breath out the body, your mind, your whole being, deeper and deeper relaxation. Let it be easy to open your mind to whatever comes and goes in your awareness without judging or grasping for whatever comes and goes. Feel your breath in, feel the exhale. Notice how your mind feels right now. You sense any emotions moving through at the moment. You might join your palms together at your heart, taking a moment to offer gratitude for anything that you choose. What awakens your heart with gratitude right now? And through that lens, remind yourself of what you are releasing and what you are inviting in through this full moon practice. And then remember to whom or what you dedicated today's practice. Let's close, joining our voices to chant Om 3 times. Feel the resonance that you're both giving and receiving through your sound. Deep breath in. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.